The Republican Speaker of the House, Jeremy Gillum, did not have to let this happen. You could have. It's just so embarrassing. Off the record, I was talking to a state representative earlier. I mean, it was an off-the-record conversation, but this person told me that that we look stupid. That Republicans look stupid because of this. Is there still a path forward? Yeah, there is still a path forward, but I'm not going to talk about what the path forward is if the status quo remains the same. I'll tell you about that some other time. I mean, the Democrats have their legislative maneuvers, and we have ours. But this is a position. It just makes me think. It makes me think that, quite honestly, that some of our policies, some conservative policies, people are worried about actually implementing them and using the power that you have. Folks, this is we do have more developments with this. I'm told that Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin has called in and he's on the phone. Lieutenant Governor, welcome to the program, sir. What do you think about all this?
Hey, how you doing? Well, look, I mean, this is pretty much common sense. So here's what's happened, and this has been going on a long time. When I first started getting involved running for Lieutenant Governor, I took a look at this process. That I knew we had been doing it for years, but when I actually started running for Lieutenant Governor, I told folks, I said, we got to change this. This is craziness. And they're like, well, we've always done it this way. Here's what we're doing. The voters give Republicans control and say, here's the majority. We want your policy. And we're actually saying, hey, I appreciate it, but we're going to give that power to the Democrats. Well, here's the deal. First of all, that's an affront to voters. Second of all, make no mistake. When voters judge you and whether you did what you said you were going to do, they're not going to give you a pass because you gave your power away to the Democrats to run the committee.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's a convoluted process of how they picked it, and they do it in the House and the Senate. And am I making some of my colleagues mad? Hey, I love them in the Lord, but they're the ones that defend this process are wrong. It's real simple. You just take the percentage of what we have in the body, the House and the Senate, and you make the committees reflect it. You let the Democrats put who they want for those few spaces. They're not going to have many. You let the Republicans get together. You have a process, they're in committee, whatever, and you pick the Republicans for our seat. But if we get 75% in the House, we ought to have 75% on the committee. It's ridiculous. How hard is that?
Well, I mean, you talk about the voters. We're talking with Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. I appreciate you calling. You make a great point. The people of Arkansas, they are overwhelmingly voting for Republicans, and it just gets to the point where it's frustrating. How many election cycles does it take before we quit playing by the Democrats' rules and we actually start to implement the things that you mentioned in your statement, like tort reform and education reform and other things?
Yeah, because what they do is they look and see what our priority is before the session. Then they jam the committees that can block it. That's what they did with education reform and school choice in the House last time. That's what they did with tort reform in the Senate, state agencies last time. That's what they're doing this time. And we're letting them do it. It's ridiculous. They hardly even exist in the numbers.
So
and
is there...
to do that is basically telling voters, thanks, but no thanks. And let me tell you this. We have got to quit talking and worrying about how we've always done things or how we currently do things. The only question we should be asking in state government is, well, in a lot of things, but in state government in this context, the only question we ought to be asking is how should we be doing it? Not how have we been doing it, how are we doing it, how did we do it? The only question we should ask is how should we be doing it? And if we ask that question, it's pretty easy. I heard people today say the only thing, a reporter said, well, let me play devil's advocate. They'll say this is how we've always done it. And I said, really? That's your best argument? That sounds like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, I completely.
Come on.
Yeah,
that's the best we can do.
So
that's like saying, well, we can't repeal Obamacare because that's how we've always done it.
That's a great point.
Ridiculous.
So
Ridiculous.
what can happen? I mean, my question Do you think we can reverse this? Can we reassign committees? I mean, I know the Democrats are going to throw a fit, but who cares if they threw a fit?
Change the rules. You're going to have to change the rules. Here's what I would tell you. This lies with the voters. This lies with the voters. Voters need to be calling their state reps, calling their state senators, saying, I never knew. I've talked about some around the state, but they need to call and say, I never knew y'all picked them that way. Why are y'all doing that? You got to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. The county committee, the Republican leadership need to weigh in. The party needs to weigh in. Grassroots need to weigh in. Everybody. Because you know what? This is not a controversial deal. This is basically saying, take what the voters said and extrapolate it to the committee.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. It's very simple.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It's only fair that the percentages would reflect, what the voters voted on in the committee. And you and me both know. Go ahead.
That's right. It's like our motto is the people rule in Arkansas, right? Well, our motto is not the people rule except when the people want Republicans to control revenue and tax.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is totally ridiculous. And anybody that tells me their excuse or argument is because we've always done it, that makes me sick.
Well, I mean,
that is such a lazy position.
The Democrats had control of the things down there, the legislature, for 138 years before 2012. It shouldn't have even taken us this long to start to change the way they do things.
That's right. Done it. We took over. That's right.
Anyway, right. I completely agree with you. So you're saying people need to call their state representatives and say,
hey. This is up to the people to make their voice known, because to a lot of people this is just inside baseball and nobody knows about it. Well, we gotta make it known, right? I mean, look, I can tell you something else that we've always done in this state. The Democrats have always made sure we had an antiquated, burdensome tax code. Does that mean we shouldn't change it because we've always had a anti-growth tax code? Well, of course not. We ought to start over with a clean sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Well, we ought to do the same thing with the House rules. Take a clean sheet of paper and say, forget how we've always done it. How should we do it? And if the way we used to do it, parts of that earn their way into today, right. But if they don't make sense, like this rule, fix it, change it.
Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin.
Let's innovate. Let's reform.
I'm right there with you, sir. I'm right there with you, and I so respect and appreciate your voice. Reform is the word, and we need to change the way things are done down there. Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin, thank you so much for calling in, sir. I really appreciate it, and I hope people heed what you say and call your state representatives and tell them that they've got to undo this. They've got to stop doing things the way the Democrats always did. We appreciate it, sir. You be safe, okay?
Thank you, man.
All right.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Folks, the phone number, call or text us right now. Let us know what you think. 870-275-9799. The Liberty Machine rolls on. We'll be back in just a moment.